let's define concern. So a concern is my in the moment focused thought that clearly doesn't agree with what my inner being thinks about the same thing right here, right now. So what would be a concerned thought? What are some of your concerned thoughts?
Financial, having income to be able to take care of whatever we need.
And your inner being isn't agreeing with that.
Right.
In other words, it's just focusing upon something and using it as your reason to not align with who you are. That's our take on it. In other words, a lot of people would say, no, Abraham, she has a legitimate concern. And we say, there are no legitimate concerns. It's just stuff you make up to mess up your life. And you say, no, there's a reality that my concern is based upon a reality. And we say, no, it isn't. It's based upon speculation. It's based on anti-vortex speculation. And you're doing it to yourself for no good reason. No good reason at all, and no valid reason at all. It's just a habit that most people have. I think I'll worry about this because it makes me feel like a good parent. I'm practicing my parenting skills in advance. I think I'll worry unnecessarily. I think I'll trump up things to worry about and activate them in my vibration. And then when they happen, I'll proclaim the wisdom of my vision. And we say, no, you're proclaiming the manifestation of your creation. So when you're in the process of creating something you don't want, you're going to feel concern. When you're in the process of creating what you don't want, you will feel concern. When you're in the process of creating what you don't want, your inner being won't play with you. That's why you feel the absence of your inner being, and that's what concern is. Inner being isn't playing with me on this thought. Maybe I shouldn't play with me either. That's the best description of concern.
And then physical manifestations come up too, like getting sick or nauseous, or I'm guessing that's just an extension of that.
Whatever's active in your vibration. In other words, we just had a really good conversation just now. In other words, you can focus upon things that make you feel concerned. You can focus upon things that make you feel wonderful. And the thing about all of these things that we are talking about that is most interesting to us is that we still have not convinced many of you that you get to choose a thought of no concern or a thought of concern, a thought of joy or a thought of discomfort. You get to choose because many of you don't think that you get to choose. You think that there's a reality that you have to face. And we say, there's no reality you have to face. The reality that is the subject of discussion is the reality you're creating, you see. Oh, but what about all that past experience? It's past experience. It's past experience. Activate from your past only things that you want in your future. And for heaven's sakes, don't just make them up out of thin air. That's what concern mostly is, making things up out of thin air.
Yeah.
Let's see, what would be the justification for it? What's my justification for making things up out of thin air? There must be a reason. There must be a valid reason that I would deprive myself
I'm getting the point.
of all the wonderful things that I want. Wait,
because that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Give me more time and I'll figure it out. I know there's a valid reason that I am focusing on things that I don't want. There's got to be a good reason for it. Nope, got nothing. There's no good reason. There's no good reason, is there? There's no good reason. Because you stand freshly in your now, juxtaposition of all things that you want. There is no good reason to focus at all on anything unwanted, no matter how many people have lived it, how many people are living it now, no matter how much you've lived it. In other words, all of that history is only about what somebody else was doing with their pondering. That's like saying, because someone else focused upon something they didn't want and create it, then I should do it too. Haven't we brought you all to a place of just realizing how ridiculous that is? I think I will worry about this thing that has nothing to do with me. Why am I doing it? Has nothing to do with me. It doesn't feel good when I do it. My inner being isn't with me on it. Has nothing to do with me. I don't want it in my future, but I'm doing it because I have a habit of thought that makes it easy to do it, but there's no valid reason. Now you've sort of begun the process of deactivating the thought. There's no reason to think that. There's no reason to think about this. There's no reason to think about this. It's silly to think about this. I don't have to think about this. I'm not going to think about this. When I catch myself thinking about this, I'm going to think about something else. I'm going to focus upon all the things in my world that are wonderful, and there are so many things that are wonderful. That's what I'm going to activate. That's what I'm going to keep present in my vibration. That's what I'm going to use as my point of focus.